Hello again, and welcome to American Top 40. My name's Casey Kasem, and I'm all set to count down the 40 most popular records according to Billboard magazine. Well, this week we've got a comeback hit for a big soul group of the 60s and 70s. After more than 12 years, Gladys Knight and the Pips are back in the countdown.
Radio and television personality Casey Kasem was born Kamal Amin Kasem on April 27, 1932, in Detroit, Michigan. He grew up with his Lebanese-American family in the city. Kasem began working in radio while he was still in high school, and continued to do so while he studied broadcasting at Wayne State University. Possibly most famous for his Top 40 countdown, he either appears or at least is heard as himself in numerous films and TV shows. For me, most notably in Ghostbusters.
Still making headlines all across the country, the Ghostbusters are at it again. This time at the fashionable dance club, The Rose. The boys in gray slugged it out with a pretty pesky poltergeist, then stayed on to dance the night away with some of the lovely ladies who witnessed the disturbance. This is Casey Kasem. Now, on with the countdown.
Outside of radio and celebrity appearances, Kasem began voicing cartoons in the late 1960s. Going way back, in Skyhawks, he was the voice of Joe Conway.
That's really something else, isn't it, Dad? Oh, no, I mean the thingy here, the snooper.
In the stop-motion animated movie Here Comes Peter Cottontail, he voiced Peter Cottontail himself.
Every time you tell a fib, your left ear droops.
Oh, well, I guess I did think about the job once or twice. Lots of times.
In the short-lived animated Hot Wheels series, he voiced Tank Mallory, as well as Dexter Carter. In Chattanooga Cats, he played a character called Groovy.
Come on, Grasshopper, move, so we can make the museum and groove. Groovy!
He really hit his stride in the late 1960s with Hanna-Barbera, when he started getting cast in iconic roles such as Alexander in Josie and the Pussycats.
I was attacked. A tremendous space monster tried to bite my nose off.
And starting as early as 1968, he was Robin in Batman and Robin.
Holy guerrilla warfare. Toyman's training the populace of the city to do the Legion's evil dealings.
And he continued playing this role all the way through the 1980s. But when it comes to Hanna-Barbera roles, we have to acknowledge his biggest paycheck of all. He was the original Shaggy on Scooby-Doo, a role he consistently voiced for decades thereafter.
Wow, like a canine crime wave. 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and here I go. Being more of a Lord of the Rings fan myself, I do need to acknowledge his participation as Merry in the animated Return of the King.
'Tis Lord Theoden's niece. She wanted to ride with us, but he forbade. She disguised as a knight and she came hither.
In Transformers, he was the voice of Teletran 1, Blue Streak, Dr. Arkeville, and of course, Cliffjumper himself. When it comes to these voice actor videos, I do my best to keep them positive, and I do want to honor these people and their careers, and even their memories for those of them that have passed on. However, since this is linked to Transformers, I do need to acknowledge the situation that led to Kasem leaving the show before the 3rd season. In spring of 1986, events occurred that caught the attention of Americans everywhere. Even a 10-year-old boy like myself was seeing it on the news for weeks and was learning about it in school.
At 7 o'clock this evening, Eastern Time, air and naval forces of the United States launched a series of strikes against the headquarters, terrorist facilities, and military assets that support Muammar Gaddafi's subversive activities. The attacks were concentrated and carefully targeted to minimize casualties among the Libyan people with whom we have no quarrel. From initial reports, our forces have succeeded in their mission.
He spent a lot of his time trying to get me fired off the show because we had an episode, I can't remember what it was about. It was a clear reference.
I remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah.
It was a clear reference
Check this out.
All right, Muammar Gaddafi, who was recently in the news, and you'll hear more about him soon. Anyway, Muammar Gaddafi had, what was he? He tried to shoot down a couple of our planes, and his zone of death, right? It was he had a couple, I think they were Su-22s, but there was some Gornish, Soviet fighter, and they got shot down. And so we set an episode in Libya, but he couldn't call it Libya, so we called it Karbamia. Right? And we had the obvious Gaddafi character was Abdul. And he didn't say anything to me about it. He just demands that I be fired from
Yeah, well, Casey was Lebanese, so he had a little bit of a vested interest.
That was pretty funny. So
Karbamia. What kind of bullshit is this? The only Arab in this script is a goddamn terrorist. I'm fucking out of here. No more Telegram 1. No more Blue Streak. No more Cliff Jumper. You can take this script and shove it where the sun don't shine, Wally.
However, getting back to the positive side of things, people my age will mostly remember Casey Kasem for the show that he co-founded, produced, and starred on for 3 decades.
But before we jump into the chart action, let's check out last week's top 3. At number 3 last week was Could Have Been by Tiffany. At number 2 was Need You Tonight by NXS. And last week's number 1 song was The Way You Make Me Feel by Michael Jackson. How's Michael going to be feeling this week? Tiffany and NXS are waiting for a chance to bounce him out of the top spot. We'll see what happens when we get to number 1.
After a long, full life and career, he died on June 15th, 2014, at the age of 82 years old. Casey Kasem, a true broadcast legend.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching, and if you like this video, you can see it in its entirety in my episode Leo Watches Transformers, Traitor. In that episode, you're also going to see an extended bio for Autobot Cliffjumper as well as Autobot Mirage. And if you like that, I've got an entire first season of Transformers, as well as more episodes for Season 2 coming up. I also do reviews for Beast Wars Transformers, and more episodes of G.I. Joe are coming up in the weeks ahead. So please like, share, subscribe, and I do sincerely hope to see you in the next video.
The countdown will begin this Sunday afternoon at 1, right here on the radio station you grew up with, Music Radio 138. Oh, fuck. What the hell's going on here? Geez, well, isn't it the last hour? We got another hour to do? Geez, I thought we were almost finished. Good golly, Miss Molly. Boy, this is fucking ponderous, man. Ponderous, fucking ponderous.
I mean, there's a day Casey Kasem was telling me, I really don't like rock and roll. I mean, he was kind of right.
Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's go start again. From coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please. See, when you come out of those up-tempo goddamn numbers, man, it's impossible to make those transitions, and then you got to go into somebody dying. You know, they do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but goddamn it, if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Is Don on the phone? Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication. Now, make it, and I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week. This is last goddamn time. I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that is, that's up-tempo, and I got to talk about a fucking dog dying.